With the outlaws gone, the settlers of Rusty Butte are ready to celebrate with the annual fall festival. But that howling in the middle of the night is not coyotes. It's men. Well, that's only half right. And that reclusive old couple living in the cabin by the river, there's a reason they only come out after dark. This year's festival will be a night to remember, if anyone lives through it. Before we jump right into the action, we roll for weather. Our results tell us that fog is rolling in. That will reduce line of sight to short distance. The villagers have the first turn. They elect to start with their werewolf hunter. He wants to go right after the nearest werewolf. The Heart of Fear and Faith is a clever dice activation system. When a character is activated, the player chooses to roll 1, 2, or 3 d6. Each d6 is compared to the character's quality value and will either enable a successful action or a failure. Thus, each character can have as many as 3 actions per activation. So why not always roll 3 dice? Because multiple failures will end your turn and give your opponent the opportunity to activate models. This constant gamble is the delicious center of the Ganesha Games system. The werewolf hunter has a quality of 3. Besides quality, a character has only one other statistic, its combat value. Otherwise, characters are differentiated by a few special abilities that may dictate the type of weapon they carry, how far they can move, or how they react in the face of fear. The Sheriff's Leader ability gives anyone within long range and line of sight of him +1 to quality rolls. The hunter chooses to roll 2 dice. With the Sheriff's help, he rolls 2 successes. He chooses to perform 2 move actions. For typical characters over typical terrain, moves use the medium length ruler. Let's look at measurements in Fear and Faith. Every measurement, movement, line of sight, proximity to other models, shooting range, etc. is one of 3 distances: short, medium, or long. These are predefined distances based on the scale of the models. Since the villager player did not roll multiple failures, he nominates another model to activate. He chooses old Chuck Cooper. Chuck was already off his nut before the monsters appeared. We see his weak quality stat. He starts the game manic. That adds 1 to his quality rolls. But as soon as he fails a roll, he becomes depressed, which subtracts 1 from his quality rolls. The sheriff plans to keep him nearby. Chuck rolls 2 dice, needing 3s thanks to being manic and near the sheriff. He gets 1 success and moves once. The sheriff is the villager's leader. We've seen one benefit to having a leader nearby. We'll see another shortly. Sheriff Bowman's quality is 2, and he chooses to roll 3 dice. He gets 2 successes and moves twice to stay near the hunter and the madman. On the other side of the table, the vampire hunter wants to, hunt some vampires. She has a quality of 3 and a necklace made of garlic. She chooses to roll 3 dice. The results give her 1 action, but the 2 failures mean that her activation will end the turn for the villagers. She can only move a short distance, 1 distance less than her normal move distance, over the rough terrain of the ford. Catching the scent of garlic, a wolf starts turn 2 by hoping to charge the vampire hunter. Near the vampire lord, a leader character, the wolf needs to roll 2s. She rolls 3 dice and scores 3 successes. Thanks to the wolf's long move and forester abilities, 2 moves puts the wolf in base contact with the vampire hunter. Armed with a pistol, Maggie Doyle gets to attempt a free shot at the charging beast before it reaches her. First, she must pass a quality roll on 1 die. Molly rolls a 4, needing 3 or more. The success allows her to fire a shot. Let's take a look at combat. Combat is either ranged or hand-to-hand. In hand-to-hand, both models may be affected. In ranged combat, only the target can be damaged. In either case, both characters roll a d6 and add their combat stat plus any modifiers. The higher score will win the combat. If one score triples the other, the lower suffers a gruesome kill. Not only is it removed from play, but all models within line of sight and long distance must take a morale test. Doubling results in a kill. The model is removed. If beaten but not doubled, the result depends on the die roll. Even numbers cause the target to fall, odd numbers cause a retreat. Maggie rolls a 3 for her shot. She adds 1 for the pistol bonus and 2 for her combat stat. The wolf rolls a 4, adding 3 for his combat stat. The shot is a miss. The wolf completes his charge. Again, both models add a d6 to their combat score. There are no other modifiers, so the wolf is beaten, and because of the odd number rolled by the vampire hunter, the wolf retreats one base width. The vampire lord has a quality of 3 and several abilities, which we will explain later. He rolls 3 successes. With the first action, he uses his leader ability to conduct a regroup action. This action affects any models within long distance. In this case, the wolf moves into base contact with the friendly werewolf. The vampire lord uses his other actions to flee the mob of villagers carrying stakes, leaving his lupine minions to fend for themselves. The brave and hungry vampire queen would like to activate next. She wants to get between the werewolf hunter and the werewolf. She rolls 2 dice and with just 1 success moves toward the man with the silver bullets. A swarm of vampire bats has emerged from a nearby mausoleum. They can fly over any terrain on the battlefield and are harder to attack with ranged weapons. With the quality of 4, the bats choose to roll just 1 die and fail to activate. The wolf activates with 3 dice, fails twice, ending the monster turn. The wolf makes its long move toward the enemy. The villagers are back in action. The werewolf hunter wants to move and shoot. He rolls 2 dice and scores 2 successes. Nick Hardy fires at the vampire, blocking his shortest path to the werewolf. The shot hits, but bullets can do no more than fell a vampire. The vampire is marked as fallen, and she will have to use an action to stand up next turn. Back again to crazy Chuck Cooper. Chuck is foaming at the mouth now. He wants to charge the fallen vampire and drive his pointy stick through her heart. Fighting a fallen model gives the attacker a +2 bonus, plus any combat victory against the fallen model results in a kill. Of course, killing a vampire requires that the attacker have some sharpened wood product at the ready. Unfortunately for Cooper, the difficult terrain of the woods and the other models in the way makes it impossible for him to cover the ground this turn. He rolls 2 dice, but only gets 1 success. Chuck goes from manic to depressed with this failure. Poor Chuck. Sheriff Bowman. What will he do? He's flanked by vampires and wolves, and Chuck Cooper is sobbing in a fetal position at his feet. He chooses to roll 3 dice, gets 3 successes, and moves and uses 2 actions to shoot at the wolf. Any model can use an extra action to focus their attack. Think of it as aiming a weapon or rearing back for a powerful punch. The sheriff rolls a 5, adding his pistol bonus and his combat score to yield a 9. The wolf rolls a 2, adds his combat score of 3, reduced by 1 for the aiming, for a total of 4. The sheriff has doubled the wolf, killing the beast. Maggie Doyle, vampire hunter, rolls 2 dice, gets 1 success. She moves off the ford. The villager player now gets a chance to use his mob. The mob ability allows the group to get a free short move before activation as long as they stay within short distance of each other. They take their short move and then dice for activation. As the last possible group to activate, they have no incentive not to roll 3 dice. They get 1 success and take another move over the difficult terrain. The monsters choose to start with their leader. Their most powerful character is in no man's land. He wants to go after the sheriff and overwhelm the other villagers around him. He rolls 3 dice, gets just 1 success. He makes 1 short move through the rough terrain, and the monster's turn ends with just the 1 activation. The villager player is chomping at the bit to finish that fallen vampire, but bullets won't affect her. The werewolf hunter starts by firing some silver bullets at the werewolf. He rolls 3 dice, gets 2 successes, moves a touch, fires away, the shot misses. Chuck will need a lucky roll to actually kill that vampire. Driving a stake through the creature's heart requires 2 actions, and he has to reach her first. The villager player goes for it. 3 dice. He gets just 1 success. He's able to get into contact with the fallen vamp, but the turn goes to the monsters. The Lord of the Night tries once again to get in on the action. He rolls 3 dice, all successes. The bloodsucker ambushes the sheriff. Look out! An ambush occurs whenever a model leaves cover, in this case the woods, to charge another model. Any monster charge causes an immediate fear test. Normally a fear test is a quality roll on 3 dice. Each additional failure results in worse effects. 1 failure and the model must recoil, which could put him in a dangerous situation. 2 failures causes a roll on the scared table. 3 failures are quite nasty. The model panics, flees, and must roll on the insanity table, the result of which may turn the frightened model into something akin to Chuck Cooper. In the case of the Vampire Lord and the Sheriff, the fear test has several modifiers. The ambush and the vampire's fearful ability are each -1 modifiers. The Sheriff's strong will characteristic is a +1 modifier. The net modifier is -1. The Sheriff has a quality of 2, so after the modifier, anything lower than a 3 is a failure. The Sheriff rolls 2 failures. He must recoil and roll on the scared table. The -1 net fear modifier becomes a +1 modifier on the scared table. The Sheriff rolls a 5. As a result, the Sheriff recoils again and falls down. This could get ugly. The hungry vampire pounces on the fallen lawman. The fallen model can fight back, but his opponent gets a +2 combat bonus. The Sheriff can use his pistol in the hand-to-hand combat if he passes a quality roll. Easy enough for his quality. The pistol gives him a +1 bonus. The Sheriff's roll of 5 is good, but not good enough. The Fiend rolls a 4 with a +2 bonus. Now here's the really bad news. When a fallen model is beaten in combat, he's automatically killed. Things just got really scary for nearby models. When a good model is killed, all allies within long distance must make a fear test. On top of that, the crazed vampire has the ravenous ability. This means that he immediately starts feeding on the Sheriff. He won't stop until he uses an action to cease. The sight of the ravenous bloodsucker causes all his allies within long distance to take a fear test. It's a gruesome scene at the bridge. Though the screams can be heard, the fog hinders the view of the ghastly massacre at the bridge. Only models within short distance will have to take a fear test on this day. Chuck Cooper and Nick Hardy are very afraid. Cooper rolls 3 dice, needing 6s. He fails all 3. He flees towards the nearest table edge and rolls on the insanity table. The result of 4 makes him manic once again. Nick Hardy, Werewolf Hunter, rolls 3 dice, needing 4s. He gets 2 successes and simply recoils from the cause of his fear, putting him closer to his prey. This concludes our peek at Fear and Faith. We didn't get to show off witchcraft, curses, zombies, masked men with chainsaws, or the optional campaign rules. Anyone with a dozen miniatures owes it to themselves to check out the Ganesha Games website, where you can purchase a set of rules to match your figures. Whether it's fantasy, science fiction, kung fu, Greek gods, horror, or any historical period, Ganesha has you covered. This is a system that knows no bounds. It even works great with Lego figures.